us this afternoon. I'm Allison Lottis.
Yeah, we have a lot to get to this afternoon. There are several protests happening statewide that we are covering for you this afternoon, starting at noon, starting with North Carolina's governor to not extend the stay-at-home order.
And we know that one of those protests is happening in Raleigh. There is another one that is scheduled to start right now in Cornelius. I've actually been in touch with the event organizer who confirmed for me yesterday that they would be out there sending a message. We want to go now to Channel 9's Blaine Tollison, who is live on Catawba Avenue over I-77. Blaine, are you seeing many people out there this afternoon?
All around North Carolina, we're going to see these protests and rallies like this one organized here in Cornelius. People supporting the Reopen North Carolina initiative. And here there are a few folks here on the Exit 28 bridge over I-77 in Cornelius. And perhaps the biggest example of people supporting reopening North Carolina business is that protest that we're expected to see in Raleigh. We're going to bring that to you shortly. But what the group in support of reopening North Carolina business wants is for North Carolina to initiate phase 1 of the plan from the Trump administration, which would be opening businesses in larger venues, even places like gyms, but still promoting working from home in many cases and a continuation of social distancing. Now, on the other side of this argument is a group known as Stay at Home NC, and I've been in touch with the founder of that group, and he told me part of their effort is to stay at home today, so they're doing the best they can to get their message out there, which entails all of their followers contacting local senators and telling them to support Governor Roy Cooper's stay-at-home order and keeping that order in place for as long as is needed. I'm planning to interview the founder of the stay-at-home group to find out exactly what they think is needed for that stay-at-home order. And of course, we may hear from Governor Roy Cooper on this particular issue later on today. We're going to bring you all of the developments and what each side has to say later on Eyewitness News at 5. Back to you.
Well, Blaine, strong opinions on both sides. The governor speaking today at 2 o'clock. Thank you so much for that report. And right now, a group is also protesting at the state capitol. Take a look here. These are live pictures in Raleigh. This is happening right now. The group is called Reopen NC. Now, they protested last week as well. One person even got arrested. They argue the economic cost to the state outweighs the public health threat of COVID-19. And that's why they are asking Governor Cooper to not extend the order. And the governor says in order to do that and ease restrictions, it's important for the state to increase testing and trace people who may have come in contact with someone who's infected. He also says decisions will be made based on trends like the amount of new cases, hospitalizations, and deaths. Well, the governor and his task force are planning to speak at 2 o'clock today, and you can watch his full remarks right here on Channel 9.
Today in South Carolina, some businesses previously considered non-essential are reopening. Governor Henry McMaster reversed his executive order yesterday. This includes clothing and shoe stores, jewelry, and department stores. It comes as cases of coronavirus increase in South Carolina. The state reported 4 new deaths and 64 new cases yesterday. South Carolina health officials expect 750 new cases per week by early May. We know how hard the economy has been hit and really hurting since that work or stay-at-home order went into effect 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, some are thrilled stores are opening back up. Others, well, they are not on board. As reporter Anthony Castro learned, the businesses that are opening today will be held to strict social distancing rules.
They will need to follow those guidelines, but Governor McMaster says people have been complying with the rules so far, and that really helped him with his decision to reopen the state, at least partially. The state's new plan reverses the governor's executive order he put in place just a few weeks ago. The non-essential businesses that are allowed to reopen include department stores, craft stores, and flea markets, just to name a few. Each business can only have 20% of its max occupancy. That'll mean we'll likely see lines of people before they can get in. Police can still break up groups of 3 or more if they're not social distancing. And some say it's too soon to do this unless there is strict enforcement. But McMaster has said he would like the state's economy to be booming by the end of June.
Our measured, deliberate approach has been the right one, we believe. Our goal was to cause the most damage possible to the virus while doing the least possible damage, at least permanent damage, to our businesses.
We have not yet hit our peak, that we are in the peak weeks now. So I do have some concerns about it.
The rent still goes on, the utilities still go on, and so there's got to be some generation of revenue for these local businesses.
Under the governor's new order, salons, barbershops, and gyms are not allowed to reopen, and you still can't dine inside of a restaurant just yet. The governor also hasn't made a decision on whether to continue the rest of the school year. He did allow beaches to reopen, but he is leaving that to local governments to decide. Back to you.
One industry hit hard by the coronavirus and the stay-at-home order, the hotel industry. A national study looked at the industry's job losses, and in South Carolina, there are 129,000 jobs supported by the hotels. An estimated 58,000 people are expected to lose their jobs. The study predicts North Carolina hotel workers will be hit even harder. More than 216,000 jobs are supported by hotels. An estimated 97,000 people will become unemployed. In Georgia, businesses will reopen starting Friday. That announcement came from the state's governor just yesterday. That includes restaurants, gyms, and hair salons. Social distancing rules still apply. Restaurants and even movie theaters can open next Monday. New at noon, Gaston County officials have announced that they are talking about when they could potentially start to reopen businesses.
In a release this morning, they said that they're putting together plans for a slow reopening after Governor Cooper's stay-at-home order ends April 29th. They say the first step will be getting people back to work and social distancing and sanitizing at those businesses. And they're also considering a slight loosening of restrictions on gatherings. But restrictions would continue to be tougher for long-term care facilities to protect at-risk seniors.
The virus has hit local nursing homes and assisted living facilities especially hard. Yesterday, the CEO of the Citadel told us they went from 1 case to 50 in just 3 days.
Dramatic increase there. Now the facility has at least 102 confirmed cases. Eyewitness News reporter Tina Terry is live outside the Citadel's corporate office with new information we're learning from the Rowan County health officials this afternoon. Tina.
Yeah, Damani, health officials releasing a lot of information about this particular outbreak and really letting the public know they did their part to help contain it. They released a fact sheet saying the health department identified the Citadel's first case on April the 7th, and at that time talked to the facility about infection control measures, containment, and prevention. The next day, April 8th, they say they got word of another positive case and reported the Citadel outbreak to the North Carolina Division of Public Health. April 9th, they say Novant Health donated specimen collection kits to the Citadel to test residents. And 2 days later, on April 11th, the health department delivered those specimens to the North Carolina State Lab in Raleigh. On April 13th, they got the test results back and delivered them to Citadel staff. At that point, they started the investigation process and say the Citadel promised to notify families. Lots of families, however, have told us that they did not know about the outbreak and instead learned about it watching our news. And now a doctor in Novant Health Rowan's ER claims the Citadel failed to let family members know about sick residents. Now, yesterday, we told you the CEO here apologized to families for reaching out to them so late in all of this. But I have emailed her again, really asking her to address that ER doctor's latest claims. And we're hoping to bring you much more on this story starting tonight at 5 o'clock. Back to you at the desk.
All right, we will be looking forward to that report. Thanks a lot, Tina. And we know now more people have died from the coronavirus in North Carolina than the flu. Take a look here. New numbers released this morning show North Carolina has 213 deaths. That's 34 more than yesterday and the largest jump we've seen in the state. There are also more than 400 people currently hospitalized. Now, keep in mind that's out of more than 83,000 tests. Now, for comparison, 167 people have died from the flu, and that's over a span of 6 months. The 213 deaths from COVID-19 all happened in the last month.
North Carolina-based LabCorp just announced the FDA gave it emergency authorization for a COVID-19 test you can take at home. The swab test will initially be frontline healthcare workers, available for them and for first responders. And then in the coming weeks, the self-collection kits will be available for everyone. It's important to note the emergency authorization means it's only meant to detect COVID-19 and can only be used during the state of emergency. More relief for small businesses and hospitals could soon be on the way. Lawmakers announced they have reached a deal on a second stimulus package.
Yeah, this one could cost nearly $450 billion. Jacqueline Phil joins us now. And Jackie, the Senate could vote on this deal today.
Senator Chuck Schumer says Democrats and Republicans are dotting the I's and crossing the T's on the spending plan. He hopes there'll be a vote later today.
Last night, well past midnight, Speaker Pelosi, myself, Chief of Staff Meadows, and Secretary of State Mnuchin were on the phone, and we came to an agreement on just about every issue.
More than $300 billion would go to boosting a small business loan program that ran out of money last week. Additional help would be given to hospitals, and billions more would be spent to boost testing for the virus, a key step in building the confidence required to reopen state economies. Talks have dragged as the two sides have quarreled over the design of a nationwide testing regime, among some other unsettled pieces. House leaders say they plan to call for a vote later this week, either in Washington or remotely. The Senate Majority Leader hasn't yet publicly signed off on the deal, though the president has signaled his support. The Senate gavels in at 4 this afternoon. Reporting outside Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.